We are
Dan,
terrible.
I don't get, like, you look at some of the players that, particularly at Fulham, that he sold or your club has sold, the quality that Smith Rowe, one or two other players, the goalkeeper, like, and you think
Awobi.
Awobi, yeah, and you
Yeah.
think he's replaced them with like Sterling, with all due respect, and
Sterling.
Kivior. Like, what is happening? Like, I don't understand. Surely you get rid of players and then improve the squad with better players, but it seems to me that they get rid of really good young players and then replace them with average squad players.
Potts, do you think
Well-
getting rid of Smith Rowe is a mistake?
Yes.
So
No, I don't think it was
I
actually.
think getting rid of the. I'll tell you where I'm at actually, because it's a good point. Getting rid of these players was not the issue for me. It was not replacing them properly was. We have not replaced some of the players that have gone with properly. We just haven't done that. So we still need players on top of the fact that we haven't replaced some of them that are gone as well. And that's the biggest issue. So people say that Arsenal are a couple of players away. I think we're at least 5 players away still. I still think we're quite a few away, right? And let me tell you why. This guy up top isn't going to win a shit. Let's just be real. Yeah,
That's
this guy up
20
top
that's
is
your
not going to
29,
win us
mate.
anything. Yeah, 29. He ain't going to win us nothing. Okay, let's just say it how it is. That's not the only problem, because Saka's going to get burnt out because there's no one to replace him. The guy that we've got, I think he's a cardboard cutout, because I ain't seen him from Chelsea for about 7 weeks now. This Sterling kid, I don't know where he is. Right? We've
You
got
haven't
no
seen the
left
best of
winger
him
that he
yet.
trusts.
No,
You
the
haven't
best
seen the
is,
best of him?
you're going to see the best of him, Potts. That promo video, the best is
We're going to see
you're
the
going to see
best
the
of
best of
him.
him.
Apparently, we're going to see the best of him. Well, the best of him will be on the bench, because I don't see this guy getting anywhere near our team. We've got Martinelli, who I'm about this close to having enough of. We've got Trossard, who's fallen off an absolute cliff. And when Odegaard and Saka don't turn up, we ain't got nothing. And what happens is, when people say, right, this is quite easy to play against Arsenal, let's just lump a load of crosses into the box and see if someone can get their bonds on it, so Arsenal can try and be set piece FC again. Because that is basically what we are and have been for quite some time. Now, I was actually defending the people that were calling us Stoke, saying, come on, man, calm down. We're not Stoke. It ain't that bad. But you know what? We started to go back to set pieces again, LA. And the fan base is singing that, by the way, at Craven Cottage. This
You
is what
singing
we've
it?
done. But our fan base, the whole of the fan base, mate. The whole of the fan base. Set piece again, ole, ole. This is 5 years in, £750 million spent. Set piece again, ole.
Oh,
And
they're
then
just
what
having a bit
happens
of fun,
is-
Potsy, man.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man.
Stop
Well,
being
You know
a
what the
little
mad thing
cunt.
is, though?
Do it when we win, I don't mind, right?
Do you know what the mad thing is, though, Potts? Like, if that type of approach was carried out by Arsene Wenger in his last 5 years before he left, you guys.
This is interesting. Let me explain why this is interesting, because I had this chat earlier about Wenger's last 5 years. You know,
Well, let me just land this point, though. Let me just land this point to see if you agree first. I think you would have accepted it, because I remember the criticism of Wenger's team back then was you were too pretty on the ball. You wanted to walk the ball over the line, game in, game out, and it wasn't sustainable. You needed another style of play. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the talk was about having a target man up there to lump balls into the box to try and be a little bit more direct. But in terms of what Arteta's done from the set pieces, so to speak, if you would have been able to carbon copy that over your Arsene Wenger side, I think you should have had a little bit more of the balance that he's crying out for 5 years ago.
The problem is, though, I don't mind what style of play we have if it wins us games. But this style isn't winning Arsenal games, bro. This style is actually getting us a point or losing games. So we've lost. We haven't beaten Inter Milan playing it. We haven't beaten Chelsea playing it. We haven't beaten Bournemouth playing it. We haven't beaten Newcastle playing it. We haven't beaten Fulham now playing it. So now we've got to a stage where we played 15 games and we've already dropped 7 games. That's nearly half of the games we played already have been dropped, either losses or draws. That ain't good enough. Last season, we drew 5 and lost 5. We've already drew 5 and we lost 2. You think Arsenal are going to lose only 3 more games to the end of the season? And that would only equal the points we made last year, which weren't enough. So it ain't good enough, man. And just quickly, the last 5 games, just quickly, sorry, Obi, let's look quickly. The last 5 games, the last 5 years you mentioned about Arsene Wenger. Do you know what his last 5 years were? When we were marching down Hornsey Road saying, get this guy out. The last 5 years were 13-14 FA Cup, 14-15 FA Cup, 15-16 title race, Leicester won it. Last season, FA Cup. Then when he got to his last one, he did come 5th and he actually got sacked but said, I'm leaving, right? That's the last 5 years. The last 5 years of Arteta has been absolute shambolic in comparison to that. And Arteta, we wanted this guy out. So how can we compare and flip-flop
Optics,
and go,
bro. The
let's give-
optics. It's all optics. So when Wenger was there, you expected more. You expected Premier Leagues because he'd been there for so long, and the drop-off was mad. But then Arteta's come in. Yeah, I don't know how it ended with Emery, but I think it was bad, like 8th or whatever.
Yeah, it was
Arteta's
bad.
come in, not great, and he's took you from like 8th or whatever, or he might have took you there, and then he's took you back up. So optics-wise, Wenger done well. Obviously, when you go back, but at the time, it was like, yo, bro, where the Premier Leagues, where the Champions Leagues, and then obviously you finish 5th. From an Arteta point of view, it's this guy's took us from the death of football to challenging again, and it's like. But actually, when you just put it side by side, you're absolutely spot on. Like, Wenger has done better than Arteta. That's facts. He's won more trophies. So that's a fact. But it's just the way it looks. It's the optics of it, and that's why.
And like
it's
Lil
like,
Timms has said, we actually got to the final against you boys, LB, in that last season of his year as well, and semi-finals against Atletico Madrid in the Europa League. So I look at it now and I think actually, as much as that was not accepted, and I'm not trying to say we should have kept Wenger, by the way, because it was actually a good record, because that record isn't good enough. But why is this record now good enough then? If he doesn't win something this year, he's got to go. I'm sorry, man.
because he
Just
took
say,
you
is
to
he
the
done?
death.
Is he done if he wins nothing major this year?
Bro, he has to be.
He
Do you know
has
what?
to
I
be
respect
done,
him
bro.
so much more.
He's just signed,
if he
isn't he just signed a new 5-year deal or something? Or
Well,
how
there's
many?
rumours that he's going to, but I do not. I will have so much respect for him if he literally gets to the end of this week and he don't say we don't win anything, and he just goes, do you know what? I said at the end to everybody on a microphone at the Emirates, do not be satisfied with second. I'm walking. I'd have so
Yeah, he's
much.
going to do that. He's not going to do that.
He's no, is he? He won't walk.
Let's keep it though. I think as well. There's to what LB said about necessarily about the optics. I agree, but then when you that's one factor. I think you've got to add in the other factor that there is a minority that is a growing minority within an Arsenal fan base that this is the best that they've seen in their lifetime. Pot you referenced before. Don't shake your head, lad, because you're of a certain
No, I'm
age.
agreeing with you. I hate it.
Errol's right. It's the younger
Oh,
fans.
it's true.
I think.
That's why I'm doing that, because I hate it.
But that's the point. You said before, reference, you've waited 21 years for the league title. In that time, there have been young bucks that have been seen periods with Arsenal not in the Champions League. When I grew up as a kid, Arsenal were always in the Champions League. That was their thing. They had a crazy record of being in it consistently for X amount of years for English clubs. Like, that was what Arsenal was brought up on. So my expectations for Arsenal versus what some of these young, and again, it sounds mad just because it's just age. So it's not a we've got more experience or we've done more than using any shape. It's just literally how fucking your mum and dad bonked when they bonked. Do you get it? Like, you can't help being a young buck in this and looking at our Arsenal team thinking we're on the right path. But I equally can't help that I've seen it before and think, nah, this isn't it. This is not the levels where I've seen Arsenal be in the past either. So I think you've got to couple that in with the fact that what LB was saying before of the optics. For a lot of young fans, they haven't had it as good as this. And they don't know.
You know what, Errol, just to come in there as well for the younger fans who are like, this is, why would we get rid of this guy? It's like when fans, right? I can't speak for everybody, but when I speak about Arsenal and when I say surely he's got to go this year if he doesn't win anything, it's actually coming as much as they might not believe me. It's actually coming from a point of respect for Arsenal, because Arsenal for me are not a team that should go 5 years without winning a Champions League or a Premier League or like seriously like winning stuff. So if you don't win anything again this year, that's 5 years without winning anything. That's 5 years without another Premier League and 5 years without a Champions League. I'm not Arsenal fans. So I see comments saying you just want Arteta to go because you want him gone because he's tired. No. I'm actually saying it because I respect Arsenal as a club in the sense that they shouldn't be doing this. They shouldn't have a manager that can't get them over the line. And this is the thing. If Arsenal fans want to keep him, no problem. He's won one FA Cup. Why does it bother me? Don't bother me. I'm just saying from a point of view of respect, surely Arsenal Football Club, if he can't get you over the line, need to move him on and get someone else in. And by the way, right, Arne Slot's proved 100% that this notion and this myth going out there that there's nobody else out there is a complete and utter lie. So any Arsenal fan that tries to throw that out there, that's just a complete lie, because he's replaced Liverpool's greatest Premier League manager, one of their greatest managers of all time. And he's, you could hardly say he's improved on them this year so far, early stages, but he's improved so far. So this is a myth that's put out there by Arsenal fans saying there's nobody else out there. So yeah, for me, if he doesn't win anything this year, and it's the Premier League or the Champions League for me, I think that you've got to move him on and try someone else.
Pots, do you reckon you missed your chance to win the league under Arteta last season? Do you reckon that was as good as it was going to be? I think that was your moment, and you've now missed it. And now there's a drop off, and I don't know if you can actually get back there under Arteta. I think you're going to have to get a new gaffer and sign 3-4 players, and then try and go again with someone who's got a proven record of getting over the line. I think you missed your chance under Arteta last season.
Yeah, I think we should have won it the last 2 years. Like, people trying for whatever reason the first year. I understand we weren't supposed to be there. We were supposed to be getting top 4, but we were 8 points clear, man, and we threw it away. Last season, we just had to beat Aston Villa at home, and we won the league, and we lost it. So I don't know, man. I look at what Arteta's done. I understand it's a good job in terms of getting us challenging. You can say that. You can't say he hasn't done a good job to get us back up there, because we're there. But to get us across the line, he's failed at every opportunity. And I know it's not about like, oh, you have to win because people make it entitled to win stuff, but we should be. LB's bang on. Like, I grew up
That's the aim
winning
of the
stuff. I
game,
was
Dan.
spoiled, man.
Don't let people put you down for saying you want to win stuff. That is literally the aim of the sport, is to win trophies. So I hate it when people say, oh, you don't win anything, you want someone. Well, not like Lee Gunner does it, yeah, and he goes on. He does it like pretty emphatically, but he is right in what he's saying. That is legit the aim of the game. Like, I'm not being funny. Rich Emery, right? If we get 3-4 years down the line and he stalls, I know they love him. They should get rid of him. Because that's the aim of the game. What, they just want to finish 3rd or 4th for the next 5-6 seasons. And all people will be like, yeah, but what about if we go down? The aim of the sport is to win the trophies.
Well, I agree with that as well. But my other question to Potts on top of what you've grew up on, because this is the conversation about the other end of the spectrum. So there's a growing minority of young people that for them this is the best that they've seen. There is still a majority of older people, of older fans that have higher expectations and have higher sets of standards. Do you think that there are the right personnel within the club that have been around the club for a long enough time to have witnessed what Arsenal once was, because it is a once was now, to say that's where we was, that was what our minerals are, that's our DNA. This is the guidebook to keep us there, get us there, push us there. Because for me, since the Cronkies have been there, it has just been a graduation of just a decline in terms of the levels and the standards. Are there enough people within the walls of Arsenal? Yeah, but are there enough people within the Arsenal walls to be able to say, oh, we know what it takes?
It's gone. The moment David Dean left was the start of it, in my opinion, 2007. He walked out. Then the Cronkies come in 2008. And there's no surprise we've not been competing for the majority of that time. We've been starting again, trying. We've been failing. Yeah, it don't help when Chelsea and City come in and spend the money they spent. We can talk about that if you want. But if you actually look at how much money's been spent, Arsenal are right up there, man.
You're up there, bro. You're up there, bro.
So, look, man, like, for me, I'll say this. The owners are still a problem, and I'll tell you why. If you think it's not the owners, it's Arteta, it's the owners, because that's his guy. If you think it ain't the manager, it's the board, it's the Cronkies, because they've hired the board. If you think it's not the board and the manager, it's the owners, you'd be on the right lines, because the owners this is the owners' process. And I think right now we're in a very, very, very close situation of putting Mikel Arteta's CV before Arsenal Football Club. And that's what I don't like. We're looking at trying to grow this manager, make him out to be this unbelievable thing. Let's look at what we've done with this guy, blah, blah, blah. If he ain't good enough, you need to just cut your losses and go. And look, it might win something at the end of this season. We might go to win Champions League, win one of the domestic cups. I don't know. That's what I hope we do, right? But unless we do that, I want the guy gone, man. I want him gone because I'm sick and tired of these cluster of results that happen. I don't get what the style of play is. I made an analogy earlier, right? Go with me on this one. He rips it up and starts again way too often. When we had that season where we were blitzing teams in 22-23, everyone was like, I tell you what, Arsenal buy a couple of players here and they are absolutely onto one. But no, he ripped it up and he started again. And we went in that summer and he went with a different style of play. And now what we're doing, we've gone into the summer, we've had an awful summer transfer window yet again, right? And I'm then into a situation where we're now going and starting again with a different style of play, set pieces all over the place. So if I go and do, I don't know, I paint or decorate your lounge, right? And you come in one day and go, yeah, it's quite good, Pots, but there's no wallpaper on the room, mate. And I go, oh, okay, no problem. Yep, all right, I'll sort that. You come back 2 hours later, you've got different furniture in there, different TV, different carpet. You're like, bro, I only wanted some new wallpaper on there. Oh, sorry, mate, I'll sort that out. You come in the next day, and then you've got some complete new fish tank in there. You've got a new staircase. You've got new walls. Like, what are you doing, bro? Stop ripping it up and start again. Just put my damn wallpaper on the fucking wall. Go and get me my striker. I've been waiting for 5 years. Stop ripping it up and doing it again. And that is what this geezer's doing, man. Every season, I'm seeing a new Arsenal. Why? This is the same damn manager. We still don't have a striker. We still don't have cover for Saka. We still don't have cover for Erdegaard. We still don't have cover for Saliba. We've got Kieran Tierney on the bench at the weekend. He's playing party at right back, taking our best right back, Timber, away from it. The whole of our right-hand side is now Guff. Yeah, and we've got Kieran Tierney sitting there. We spent 150 million pounds on left backs since Kieran Tierney, and not one of them are better than him. This is the problem we got with this manager. There's so many question marks now.